require them to renew professional certificates every 5 years. The Union of Post-Primary Education Teachers is at the forefront challenging this program. To shed more light on the teachers' concerns is KUPPET National, or rather Executive Secretary, that is Moses Mbora, who now joins us live from our city center studios right here in the capital, Nairobi. Good morning, Moses. There is quite an uproar and, so much dissatisfaction from KUPPET. Why are you opposed to this, rather the Teacher Professional Development Program training?
Teachers are opposed to this training because of the manner in which it has been intended to be rolled out. It has been made mandatory. There was no consultation that was done. It shall require that teachers pay for it. And these teachers who shall be required to pay for this training are teachers who have just been subjected to a collective bargaining agreement that did not have monetary value. These are teachers, some of whom have stayed in the same job group for between 10 and 20 years and have never been promoted by the same employer. And therefore, teachers are asking, where will we get the money to pay for it? Apart from that, all professional development courses are usually paid for by the employer. It is going to be the first time for such a program to be paid for by the employee himself or herself.
Indeed. So these, it appears finances are the most, the mode of payment and the administration of all these. But the TSC rather earlier on did hint that when the pilot was tested, that is the TSC Chief Executive Officer Nancy Macharia said, the move is aimed at improving the professional standards of Kenyan teachers. And at the end of this module, successful teachers will have their teaching certificates renewed after every 5 years. And those to whom it was presented, Nancy said that they gave a clean bill of health. So the funding, or rather how this the payment of this whole professional development program, is it something that perhaps was too ambitious, or should they go back to the drawing board?
They should go back to the drawing board. It is not well thought.
Why do you think, and whom should they involve in this? As KUPPET, were you involved in the initial, setting up of this professional development program?
KUPPET was only invited to be informed last week on Wednesday, that is 22nd of September, that the program was going to be rolled out. From Nairobi, where teachers have rejected it, I have consulted with teachers, and they have told me that in one of the performance management tools called TPAD, they are usually asked in one of the components, it is an electronic component of self-evaluation, to state whether they require certain skills to be trained on them, such as ICT and the many more that can make their work better. But it is a tool that has already been predetermined. It is something that somebody cannot change and write what he or she desires. So that cannot be regarded as participatory in in the way the decision was made to have the teacher professional development planned for and attempts made to be rolled out. On the issue of renewal of teaching certificates, teachers are permanent and pensionable employees. Would it mean that when the certificates are renewed, then the teacher starts the contract afresh? That is something that has not been explained by the employer. These programs are going to be attended to, or the trainings attended to, when the term schedules are in holidays. Mm-hmm. There are some teachers who attend sports, certain teachers attend national examination marking, Certain teachers attend drama, national drama festivals and music festivals. If this training is mandatory, what will be the fate of these teachers who are involved in national assignments that require them to be away from such kind of training? Will they also be denied the certificate to practice after some years because they never completed the course? Thirdly, there are certain institutions that have already been identified. Mount Kenya University, Kenyatta University, Kenya Education Management Institute, that is KEMI, and Riara University. This program is going to be mandatory for all the teachers. 4 institutions accommodating over 340,000 teachers. We are in a COVID pandemic. How are these teachers going to congest themselves in order to have these trainings conducted, trainings which are mandatory? Those are questions that the program does not address, and many more.
Indeed, Moses, then I'm curious to know, because the program is touted to last for 30 years. We have seen the government implementing whatever policies, and similarly the CBC, despite the teething problems, it's still proceeded to be launched and rolled out. Now there is the Teacher Professional Development Program. While KUPPET says teachers will not bow to pressure to joining the training in exchange for promotion and salary increment, what next? What is your next move? Will you be moving to court? What will you be doing to cushion your teachers?
First of all, before I go to your the last question, it takes a teacher 8 years in primary, 4 years in secondary, and 4 years in university. That is about 15 years to get a certificate to be a teacher. Why would a teacher train further after being employed for 30 years? That is ridiculous. And then this comes after the teachers have been labeled as unskilled and semi-skilled. And yet teachers come out of their training institutions as professionals. They don't get they are not trained to be professionals after they have gotten out of their institutions of learning to acquire that Bachelor of Education certificate or Diploma in Education certificate or certificate in primary teacher education. They come out of those institutions as professionals because they are professional trainings that accompany their training. So it is ridiculous to subject a teacher for 30 years of learning. Now, in places, including Public Service Commission, where people are taken through continuous professional development, there are courses that take 4 weeks. There are courses that take 6 weeks, and they are awarded with certificates. The certificates give them upper hands when they go for interviews for promotion. Those certificates also give them upper hands when salary increments are determined. Now, teachers have PhDs, teachers have masters, teachers in primary have degrees, which the Teacher Service Commission refused to recognize. Why would the Teacher Service Commission subject a teacher for 30 years of learning to recognize that now the teacher is ripe enough to be a professional? To your last question, going to court, there are better options that shall be looked at before that is reached. And one of them is social dialogue. Already we have identified areas of law, policy, and regulations that make a teacher's work environment hostile. We are communicating this, especially me as the branch executive secretary for Nairobi County, to the Secretary General to form a team to interrogate these laws and look at them as risks that interfere with a safe working environment for teachers. One of them is Section 42 of the Code of Regulation for Teachers that talks about mandatory teacher professional development. It does not talk about the payment, but it talks about mandatory. And remember, in my earlier talks, I had told you the challenges that this mandatory teacher professional development shall impact negatively, how it shall impact negatively in the life of a teacher, more especially on the issue of certification. A person is permanently and pensionably employed, then you are told to renew a certificate, failure to which it shall be withdrawn. Suppose it is be withdrawn for 1 or 2 years. When you go back to service, are you given another TSC number? Are you contracted afresh? How will your pension be calculated? Those are challenges. So on social dialogue, we shall identify these sections. There is also section 47 of the Teacher Service Commission Act. We are also keenly interrogating Article 237 of the Constitution, section 3, that gives the Teacher Service Commission the mandate to regulate teaching as a profession. So we shall look at social dialogue first, failure to which we shall go for further, we shall move to further levels to seek clear interpretation on how this shall be done. But that notwithstanding, we also have the Parliament where we can present our petition so that we have section 47 of the TSC Act repealed or amended. We can also have the Code of Regulations for Teachers, section 42 amended. We can also marshal the support of members of Parliament to enable section 237 of the Constitution to be amended if it doesn't require referendum, so that teachers have laws that protect them in the work environment and make that work environment safe. Remember, a safe working environment is motivating to teacher, makes teachers secure, improves their performance at work, and this will serve the children of Kenya, who are our main clients. If the teacher is not safe, the child is not safe. So any laws that shall make the work environment of a teacher unsafe is also going to stretch and impact negatively on the